Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
The other day we have discussed quality control of concrete in a brief manner. So, other than this, we will see today whatever are the salient points other than what we have discussed already, and we will go by the materials because materials we have not discussed yet, as we have seen
Good
stage
af-
one, stage two, and stage three. So stage one was quality control before concreting. So we have not discussed the materials, that is the cement and aggregate yet. So that we will see in this particular document along with other salient points. So in the materials we have got basically cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, and water. So these are the ingredients about which we are required to see what are the things which are critical to be taken into consideration. Water, when used in mixing and curing of concrete, shall be subjected to approval and shall be reasonably clean and free of salt, acid, alkali, sugar, vegetable, or other injurious substances. That means it should be free of any external materials or even the chemical composition should be appropriate. Water shall be tested in accordance with the, although it has been mentioned here, ASTRO, which is basically transportation engineering domain codes, but we are required to maintain the Indian codal provisions for concreting to be executed. Students, it is requested that you please enter the class on time. Otherwise, continuously, I have to interrupt the class. So, where source of water is relatively shallow, an intake shall be enclosed to exclude silt, mud, grass as foreign materials. So, whatever tests are required corresponding to the ingress of these materials has also to be checked. Mixing water for concrete in which steel is embedded shall not contain a chloride ion concentration in excess of 1000 ppm. So we know that 95% of our construction are RCC constructions. In plain concrete, we don't do anything. So everywhere reinforcement is required. And in that case, the water should be free of chlorine ion concentration. There is a limit of 1000 parts per million or sulfates in excess of 1300 parts per million. So specified. So that is why I am highlighting the word specified here, that these are the things which can be kept in mind other than tap water, because tap water is a treated water actually. Assuming that tap water is a treated water, We other than this, whatever source of water is there, it can have these specifications. Suspended solids, other less than 2 grams per liter, which is very, very less. So actually, you are on a whole, even not allowing little bit of suspended solids in the water, which is going to be used for concreting work. Chloride ion. So please remember this. It can be asked in exam about the quality of the water. It is chloride ion less than 200 parts per million. So this is the upper limit. 1000 ppm is the upper limit, and it should be less than 200 ppm. So anything between 200 to 800 is critical and required to be considered critically, that whether it has to be used or not. Then difference of time of setting for cement. Let us, this is a kind of trial and error, you can say. So the water which is interfering with the initial time, setting time of the cement should be, should not be used. So whatever limits are there, because we don't know how the water is going to behave in the chemical reaction. Less than 30 minutes for initial setting and less than 60 minutes for final setting. Ratio of compressive strength of water, more than 90% at age 7 days and age 28 days. So as whatever source of water is there, we are using, because we used to test the cubes. So those cubes should be able to achieve this target strength corresponding to 7 days and 28 days. So if your target strength is 20 MPa, that is 20 Newton per mm square. So you should be able to achieve this with that source of water for next 7 days and 14 days and 28 days. It is better not to use the seawater. So we are not required to use seawater for plain concrete, because uh, seawater will, what are the demerits of using the seawater? That is accelerate alkali aggregate reaction. Whatever alkalis are present in the aggregate, and we have got some inhibited chemicals into the water, that is going to accelerate the chemical reaction. Decreased long-term strength growth of concrete. So that is durability of concrete is reduced with the seawater. So it is better to use tap water and reduce. That is why it is, you can say it is the reduction of the durability. Then we have got, these are the constituents of concrete. First one was water. Then we have got fine aggregate. What is its definition? So which is, here the example is given corresponding to Japan. So we have to stick to our Indian codal provisions. That we have already seen in the subject concrete technology. So that I have told in advance in that whatever part is coming into the concrete technology part. So how we specify that what is the range of using coarse aggregate in or centimeter for concretes. That all things please go through the contents of your subject concrete technology, and I have also shared the book MS Shetty, which we have studied earlier. So we have seen in the unit 1 a little bit clarification on to which range is coming on to which, uh, because even in coarse aggregate there is a range which is going to be used for a specific concreting, from the grading of the curves. जब हम मिक्स डिजाइन बनाते हैं तो मिक्स डिजाइन में whatever material is left onto the sieve and that is retained on the sieve, and what is passing through that particular sieve, those sieve numbers are marked and the amount in grams for a certain kg, let's say 1 kg of material being taken. That chart is being prepared and accordingly mixed design is being prepared. Air entraining and chemical admixtures, mineral admixtures, these are the constituents. Then we have got mixed design. So in this particular document, this also I have shared with you into the Google Classroom. So whatever study material or content is related to our topic of quality control, we will go through on that only. Determination of the basic concept, actually this leads to what are the initial arrangements we are required to see at the planning stage. uh, at the planning stage, what is going to be the day on which concreting is going to be done, what is going to be the weather conditions during that particular day, and if the climatic conditions are very much worse or critical during that duration. That has to be planned, keeping in mind that how much cubic meter of concrete you are going to cast on a particular day from morning 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monthly or daily temperature, amount of rainfall, wind speed, seasonal water level of river, and actually all these points, while studying, all these points are actually directly or indirectly related to all other points of uh, keeping quality of concrete in control. Specific natural conditions in the area shall be collected. So if there are some specific, let us say intermittent sudden snowfall is there, you are doing concreting in a very reduced temperatures. So that has to be kept into mind and noted down in a diary to keep in consideration for a particular project. Geographical and topographical conditions, because this directly affects your geotechnical considerations at the foundation level around the site. Geotechnical and topographical feature around the site, access to the site for transportation of materials, machine and equipment shall be fully examined and investigated. Even when we, such as we decide on to the site for the dams or the site for the retaining wall, or we want to retain earth at the as a backfill onto the using the retaining wall, these type of decisions are even taken at that point of time, that where should we do it, whether the approach road is there, whether the dumping truck can reach there, whether our machinery is able to work here with the generator or an direct electrical supply. If direct electrical supply is not there, so in that case, whether our generator, huge power generator, can reach at this particular site, these are the things: employment conditions, condition of manpower arrangement. For this, a total time schedule is chalked out, which we say part and CPM, where we do the manpower allocation or resource allocation. Actually, resource allocation में सब कुछ आ जाता है. Even machinery is included in resource allocation. So that has to be chalked out and planned before the even the decision of the site selection and before resuming the project. If the skilled workers are not available and fall short of requirement around the site, what are the alternatives? What are the alternatives that has to be planned? These all are going to directly, indirectly going to interfere with your quality of concrete. अगर आपका concreting चल रहा है और let us suppose कि मैन पावर नहीं है आपके पास, next day morning the concrete is scheduled, so you have to suspend 1 day concreting or 1.5 day concreting for the reduction in manpower. What is going to happen? The joint or the bond between the already casted concrete and then the later on executed fresh concrete won't be that much good bond, although concrete has started its hardening, but still it will be a better bond in case your concrete is going on as per the schedule, that it has been terminated at 5 p.m. and it is starting 8 a.m. morning in the next day, covering 6 to 8 hours or 10 hours. So that is why every important point at the planning stage is going to affect the quality of the concrete. In all the projects in big companies, Gaiman, L&T, this project planning and scheduling rubrics is being prepared for hour wise and day wise, that how much cubic meter of concrete is going to be casted, whether pile cap has been casted or pier has been casted, how many meters of pier has been already casted. So this type of planning is required. Condition for construction machine and equipment. The site engineers also need to make a basic plan for supply of construction machines and equipment in the same manner as in the manpower scheduling. That is what we were saying, that that is what called as resource allocation for both for manpower and for machinery. What are going to be the bad effects? I've just explained what is going to be the bad effects if you are not going to do this resource allocation. So if you are preparing your own notes, while my lecture has already been delivered, or you are seeing the video recording of my lecture, please maintain your own handwritten notes where you will be able to summarize the lecture, that how this resource allocation, machine, equipment, manpower allocation is going to affect your quality of concrete, condition of temporary facilities, area of temporary yard, location and layout of construction offices, accommodation for staff and workers shall be reviewed and determined. That means how far is the site office engineer residential or office location is there from the site. This is also part. Where is the residential? Where is the staying location of the laborers? How far is they from the site? All these things, small things matter. Procurement plan for temporary materials for each work as a framework. I will be able to show you in this particular document only how the stacking of these material is being done. Environmental conditions, this we have already seen. Actually, environmental conditions even include all those tests we have discussed of the water. The prevention or mitigation of negative impact to the environmental and social conditions against the nature. So whatever it is, both our input side and output side. You are doing concreting, you might be offshooting some byproducts of your concreting, you might be polluting the water. So that things, pollution of the atmosphere and environment has to be considered by you also. Safety management is required. Although this part item is referred to be safety, it is a part of a safety control manual. It actually does not directly interferes with your quality of concrete. It is corresponding to the safety of the resource, persons, manpower, all those. They are not going to directly interfere with the quality of concrete. It is quite possible if your civil site engineer is injured, so nobody is to handle your concreting work, hourly basis execution won't be monitored. In this way, indirectly, it is going to be hampered. Items to be described in construction plan. That is, what are the important considerations that we should discuss in our construction plan, which can interfere with the quality of concrete. Requirement condition, what are the requirements? Construction period, that is scheduling. अगर आपका शेड्यूल के अकॉर्डिंग कंक्रीटिंग वर्क नहीं चल रहा है तो it is a problem for you because it will delay many things and your concrete may be hampered. Estimation for quantities of concrete material and methodology for procurement of concrete. So this is the same thing. You please go through this particular in between the lines, although the basic broad concept I have just explained, that how it is going to interfere. Manpower arrangement plan, construction plan for concrete works, temporary works. This is storage at the site. This is important. That how the rebar works, that is how let us say what we should say detailing of the reinforcement is being executed. जब हम reinforcement cage बनाते हैं, अगर आपका कॉलम है, आपका बीम है, आपका डैम है, रिटेनिंग वॉल है, शीट पाइल है, footing है, raft है, all these structural elements require reinforcement. So bar bending schedule of this reinforcement has to be planned even before the start of the project. So that bar bending schedule has to be made, has to be discussed with the bar bender. Bar bender should be very well conversant with the bar bending schedule. How much should be the angle, what should be the development length, at what angle should I bend, whether it is 135 degree or it is 45 degree. So everything is written in a tabular form. Let us say if you are concreting one particular floor columns having different reinforcement requirements, तो सभी कॉलम लेट अस से अगर आपके 35 कॉलम्स हैं, सो 35 कॉलम्स में लेट अस से अगर 3 reinforcement डिफरेंट कैटेगरीज हैं, C1, C2 और C3, 30 कॉलम्स हैं, 10 कॉलम में C1 रिइंफोर्समेंट है, 10 कॉलम में C2 रिइंफोर्समेंट है और बाकी के 10 कॉलम में C3 रिइंफोर्समेंट है। तो उनका जो कॉलम शेड्यूल है वो आपके पास शीट में सामने है। आपके पास एक शीट होगी, उस शीट में उसका कॉलम शेड्यूल होगा। बार मेंटर हैज टू एग्जीक्यूट दैट कॉलम शेड्यूल। उसके अकॉर्डिंग वो रिइंफोर्समेंट को बेंड करके पहले से रखेगा, so that timely on to the time he can arrange those bars into a cage of reinforcement timely with proper bar bending. Otherwise what is going to happen, आपका ये बार बेंडिंग तैयार नहीं है, केज तैयार नहीं है, ऊपर से बारिश आ गई है, there is a rain and your reinforcement which you have brought out for preparing a cage, it is already being damaged for last 12 to 24 hours in the process of preparation of the cage out of the reinforcement which is lying in the out, exposed to corrosion. So everything has to be in a planned manner, in a, you can say, casting yard or in a yard which is enclosed, which is having a roofing or sheeting above it. Bending and cutting work of rebar shall be carried out by appropriate cutting and bending machines. Now we are discussing that it should be done properly with cutting and bending machines. Now here you have got two different variants. One is there that it is being done manually by a person for small projects. One is that your cutting of the reinforcement and bending is done by the machine. अगर आपकी मशीन बीच में खराब हो जाती है, just 24 hours before the concreting work, when you were supposed to execute the concrete next day morning, आपने एक दिन की concreting finish करी और आप next day की concreting के लिए आपने केज तैयार करना start किया। उसके लिए आपने मशीन में कटिंग एज पर द लेंथ स्टार्ट करी और बेंडिंग स्टार्ट करी। What has happened that your machine has malfunctioned? So in that case, whether you have got an alternative for another machine or not, or you are relying on to a single machine for that process, that is again going to interfere, because if your reinforcement is corroded out of the environmental and moisture conditions out there at the site, your quality of concrete has hampered due to corroded reinforcement. Were once bent because of harming the material. In case of bending temporarily at the joint construction and re-bending afterwards to conform to the original design position. Later, it is highly recommended that temporary bending shall be carried out with the large radius. That means अगर आपने पहले जो एंगल 135 डिग्री था, अगर आपने उसको पहले से टेम्परेरी बेंडिंग को एग्जैक्टली आप उसको 125 डिग्री पे बेंड करके आपने उसको किया और बाद में आपको पता चला कि नहीं, it is wrong, you have to change it to further open it up. उसको ओपन करना पड़ा आपको और फिर वापस लाना पड़ा। तो क्या होगा कि आपका जहां कर्वेचर है, जहां पे बेंड है, वहां पर इन्फोर्समेंट वीक पड़ जाएगा। सो द इनिशियल टेम्परेरी बेंडिंग शुड बी लार्ज रेडियस कर्वेचर। उससे क्या होगा, बाद में आप स्लोली उसको कर्वेचर को रिड्यूस करते हुए 45 डिग्री पे ला सकते हो। and you need not to do a correction onto already bended bar. On all occasions, rebar welding is not allowed, basically because it may impair the materials. So rebar welding is not allowed. Fabrication of rebar shall be cleaned before fabrication. Rusts or on surface or things like hardened mortar shall be taken out completely by wire brush, and so on. So what happens at the site, sometimes the mortar, the cement mortar, these things, when your reinforcement is kept lying onto the slab of the first floor or subsequent upper floors, mortar or cement slurry being attached to the reinforcement. So they are required to be removed from the reinforcement before it is being going to be actually used. Rust is also required to be removed, although we never do these things. It is required to be done, but we never do it. हम लोग कभी नहीं करते हैं इसको. रस्ट जो हमारे पास ऑलरेडी कोरोडेड और रस्टेड रीइंफोर्समेंट होता है, हम डायरेक्टली उसको यूज कर लेते हैं अपने प्रोजेक्ट में फॉर एग्जीक्यूटिंग ऑफ द कॉलम. आपने कभी आस पड़ोस में घर बनता हुआ देखा भी होगा. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल they use the rusted reinforcement altogether because they are being told that it is okay, there is no problem. Am I right, students? Have any of you bothered to interfere with any of the close by construction on that this is wrong, this should not be done? Because at least this much you know by the time you are already almost about to finish the subject concrete technology. This might have been told in that subject also. Rebar shall be fabricated accurately in accordance with the drawings and specifications. This is what we have just discussed. One is the angle, the bending. The other thing is the length. अगर मार्केट में आपके पास 12 फीट की लेंथ है तो पहले से आपको प्लान करना है, क्योंकि कॉलम के जस्ट ऊपर आपको लैपिंग अलाउड नहीं है. तो अगर आप लेंथ को प्रॉपरली काटते नहीं हो तो क्या होगा, लैपिंग जो है वो बीम कॉलम जॉइंट के पास आएगा, which is not allowed for a good concrete work. For a good work, lapping is allowed at the mid of the column. So accordingly, you can procure the material, you can ask your bar bender to cut the length of the reinforcement. Standard inspection terms, method and tolerance of fabrication of rebar. Actually, this is item number, this tabular form which I just told you. हर एक लॉग बुक बनाया है, उसमें आइटम नंबर डाला जाता है. उस आइटम के सामने उसकी टोटल बार बेंडिंग शेड्यूल से लेंथ वेट कैलकुलेट करके कॉस्ट निकाला जाता है. उसमें ड्राइंग भी बनाई जाती है, एक्चुअल ड्राइंग हर एक फ्लोर के लिए. आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल ऑफ C1, C2 एंड C3 कैटेगरीज. तो C1 में अगर आपका 25 डाया का बार की कितनी लेंथ निकल के आ रही है, that is reported to be mentioned here. Then the total is being done and accordingly the material is it is procured. क्योंकि अगर आपका मटेरियल शॉर्ट पड़ जाता है, अगेन द सेम थिंग, आपकी कंक्रीटिंग चल रही है और यू आर रनिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ 1 बार, you are running short of 1 bar of 25 mm dia, that is going to altogether hamper everything for you. Location and length of joints and other anchors. Joints and anchors are used where we do the lapping part. अगर हमें दो बार्स को ज्वाइन करना है, जहां पे आपकी लेंथ खत्म हो गई है, वहां पर हम जॉइंटर्स यूज करते हैं या एंकर्स यूज करते हैं. देन कवरिंग, effective height, center spacing, that is the covers we provide in every structural element. So because covers are very critical. Why they are critical? Because the cover, let us say beams में 25 mm है, कॉलम में 40 या 50 mm है, आपका अगर राफ्ट है उसमें 75 mm है. सो दीज आर बिकॉज यू कैन सी राफ्ट जो है वो एक जियोटेक्निकल स्ट्रक्चरल एलिमेंट है जो सॉइल में रहता है. सॉइल के थ्रू मॉइस्चर भी राफ्ट को टच करता है डायरेक्टली. और जो सॉइल के अंदर केमिकल्स हैं, those also directly are in contact with the RCC work of the raft. So this comes directly into the domain of environmental conditions, exposure conditions of the raft. The raft is directly exposed to the too much extreme, I should say, worst conditions. So they should not damage the concreting work. That is why that 75 mm, 3 inches will not let the everything bad from the soil to interfere with the reinforcement or the concrete. In such cases, we use high grade concrete varying from M30 to M35. So the let the concrete RCC be damaged.